they may never be ready for. So, moving on to live and learn. My first thing in my notes, I have a quote is, "You're reading because you are in college." That is kind of the quote that really stuck out to me that was in this. I've had so many professors in my past. I'm a big why person, like, why am I doing something? I think it was just like my independence kind of spewing out throughout college, but I like knowing why I'm doing something. And if I don't know why I'm doing something, then I don't want to do the things. And I feel like a lot of students nowadays end up being like that. They want to know the why behind something. And so this kind of shows that even when a professor gives you a why, sometimes that's not good enough for the students. For this, like, I also had, like, are students in school to learn or to just have an experience? For me, I think that a student will succeed more when they're there to learn, but they're also there to get an experience. So they're there to learn, they're there to have, like, the best college experience they have. So they're getting a degree, but they're also making connections on campus, and they're taking leadership opportunities to better develop themselves. If you have a student who only does academics and doesn't get involved on campus, they won't have a good chance of getting a job afterwards because they don't have anything to put on their resume other than, hey, I went to school. But then if you have someone who's too socially, like, into the social experience, then they will have more of a not ideal time, to say lack of better words, because they'll fail out of school. And then a question at the end I had is, are students learning, or is college busy work for them? And what by this I mean is, like, when a student walks into a classroom, are they actually learning, and are they actually experiencing new things and being challenged? Or is this degree just busy work to move on to the next part? The reason I ask this is because sometimes, like, for me, that's what it ended up being. I knew that I didn't want to go into social work. I knew from, like, day one that I wanted to go into student affairs. So a lot of the times near the end of my social work degree program, it did end up being busy work. My whole practicum at the end of my senior year ended up being busy work for me because I wasn't doing what I liked. It was a program that I wasn't really that into, and it was a population that I really wasn't interested in. And I know that some college students will end up doing that, even if it's not like my circumstances where like there's no bachelor's degree for what I wanted to do. There is sometimes, like, students having to take general education courses that they aren't really learning anything in. It's just like a requirement. And so that's kind of what I mean by, like, that question. So there's 2 more articles, so I'm going to move to the end of the university as we know it. And this one was just so dramatic. Like, I am a big theater person. I was in theater all throughout high school, and I was involved in, like, other theater stuff in college sometimes when I had the free time. And, like, this was just, like, the most dramatic, like, that I think. I understand it was supposed to be dramatic to try and grab people's attention, but I was just like, wow, okay, can we step back a little bit? So with this, I personally don't think that 4,500 universities are going to close. Where I do think a lot more things are going to be online and offered, like, not in-person kind of courses. And that somewhat worries me in the fact of, like, for me, I have dyslexia, and it is hard for me to read on screens. That's why all my notes are, like, paper. And so, and that's why the first one was probably a little bit more of a mess, just because I was reading off of a screen instead of reading off of paper. And so online classes are very difficult for me from time to time. And I just think about students who either don't have access to internet or don't have access to a home computer, or they don't have, like, they have a learning disability like me where it's difficult to read on screens and it's difficult to get access to online learning. And so that kind of worries me. But I personally, after reading this article, I still don't know I don't think that a bunch of universities are going to close down and then a bunch, like, however many, like 20,000 people are going to be going to Harvard, or 20 million, or I can't think of the number right now. And then it does make me somewhat interested to see what it will be like in the future in like 20 years. And then the question I have at the end was kind of like, the question that I was thinking about is like, what if a student needs to go and do online, like they can't go to a full 4-year university because they have a family, or they just can't leave home because they need to work, and so they have to do an online program. And are they getting the same experience as a student who is going and actually experiencing a college like in person? And so like with that, I think that a lot of students won't get the same experiences as when you're in person in the classroom. And so things moving to more online may have those drawbacks. Okay, so last one. This is already over 10 minutes, so I'm probably going to end up getting to like 15, 16, so we're going to see how this goes. But with this one, the elitist crybabies and junkie degrees. This article just all around just made me very irritated, so I'm not going to spend way too much time on this one. It reminds me a lot of fights I have with my family. The whole like I'm very Democrat and like liberal. And most of my family is conservative Republican. And so a lot of my own like family don't understand the point of college. They think it's a waste of money and that you just need to get in, get out and work. So that's something that really stuck out to me while reading this, was the get in and put money into the economy after high school. Like that's what you need to do. My mother is college educated, and so it was a lot easier for me to get into college. But where with this, I think about like my cousins whose family like never went to college, and they see college as like a waste of time. And because of that, my cousin right now is the first one to actually look like she's going to finish college, and she's the second oldest of my cousins. And that kind of just like disappoints me in a way, because I feel like college shouldn't be a Democrat Republican thing. It's not a political thing. College should be something that if someone needs a degree for what they want to do and wants a degree for what they want to do, then they should have access to that, and they should have the ability to go and get that experience. Like I said, I'm not going to spend too much time on this one because this whole article just kind of low-key very irritated me, just from the way it was written, and it just flashed me back to a bunch of arguments I've had with my more conservative family. So yeah, that's the end of this week 2. So I'll be back again for, I think, let's see, 2 more, I think. Yeah, looks like 2 more for the 29th and the 12th. So I will be back next week. So have a good day. Bye.